Welcome to our channel today. We'll delve into an intriguing topic. How powerful can reverse thinking be? Reverse thinking is a mindset applicable in various aspects of life, often possessed by truly outstanding individuals. First, let's explore two stories about reverse thinking. Story 1. A businessman borrows 2,000 yuan from Hassan, and a promissory note is signed. As the repayment date nears, the note goes missing. Hassan is anxious, knowing the businessman might deny the debt without the note. A friend suggests Hassan write a letter to the businessman. Please return the $2,500 I lent you. Even though he only lent $2,000, why ask for $2,500? Confused, Hassan follows the advice. The businessman quickly responds, I borrowed $2,000, not $2,500, and I'll return it. This story is known as the Hassan promissory note principle. Using reverse thinking, Hassan prompts the businessman to acknowledge the original debt. Story 2. A friend buys a box of fruit online, only to find half of it spoiled. The seller refuses to refund or replace. Out of options, the friend buys 2 boxes of high-quality fruit from a supermarket, then posts a review thanking the seller for a buy one, get one free deal, implying they received 2 boxes for the price of one. A week later, the store is flooded with complaints and closed down. Customers are questioning the poor quality of their fruit and asking about the promised free box. In life, we often think in a fixed direction. Reverse thinking, however, goes against the grain. When normal thinking fails to solve a problem, changing perspectives and deviating from conventional routes often leads to unexpected solutions. Reverse thinking helps find shortcuts to problem solving, increases efficiency, and more importantly, deepens our understanding of the issues. Part 2. 5 methods to train reverse thinking. Using flaws to your advantage. The essence of this method is flaws can be strengths. It emphasizes thinking about how to directly utilize these flaws, turning disadvantages into advantages. For example, photographers often count 3, 2, 1s before taking a group photo, but some people blink at 1. The solution? Have everyone close their eyes and open them after counting down. This way, no one blinks. Can you see how a flaw can actually be a strength? Psychological inversion. Consider the introduction of potatoes in France. French farmers were initially reluctant to plant them. Then, someone guarded potato fields with armed soldiers, making the farmers think these were valuable crops. They began stealing and planting potatoes, eventually popularizing them. This is a classic example of what's forbidden becomes desired, demonstrating the paradox in human psychology. Attribute inversion. An object's attributes can be multifaceted. The same thing can be interpreted differently from various angles. As Qian Zhongshu said, fight poison with poison, wine with wine. Peter Norton, another successful user of reverse thinking, sold his computer software, a file recovery program, for $300 million. He turned the common nightmare of accidentally deleting files into a reality, showing that advance and retreat, presence and absence, can be unified and transformed at a higher level, leveraging human nature. A quiet, loving man was bothered by noisy children outside his house. He started giving them candies, reducing the amount gradually. Eventually, when there were no more candies, the children stopped coming, and the man regained his peace. This illustrates that human psychology often follows predictable patterns. What's prohibited becomes more appealing. What's possessed is often taken for granted. Psychological contrarian method. This involves discarding personal limitations to explore others' thoughts, then acting contrary to their thinking. It's not just about understanding the opponent's psychology and countering it, but about leading them to follow your thought process, making them choose what you want them to choose. It might seem daunting, but with continuous practice and understanding others' logic, you'll find this method is not as difficult to master as it seems. Let's look at a real-life story to test your quick response to reverse thinking. After Stalin's death in 1953, Khrushchev, at a Soviet Communist Party Congress, revealed and criticized Stalin's numerous errors in policy and purges. Someone from the audience sent a note to Khrushchev. He read it and it asked, "Where were you at that time?" The question was direct and challenging. Khrushchev couldn't avoid answering. Doing so would be an admission of cowardice and selfishness. If you were Khrushchev, what would you do? To solve this, you would need to convey a fact that shows your current actions are genuinely correcting past mistakes, and also make people understand why you couldn't act sooner. You must create a necessary binary choice, meaning you make the audience feel they would have made the same choice in your position. By this explanation, have you started to see the pattern? After the reverse, it's time to react. Instead of explaining with words, Let everyone experience the choice firsthand, helping them understand the inevitability of your decision. See, mastering the psychological contrarian method is achieved step by step. Khrushchev read the note aloud, then looked at the audience and asked, "Who wrote this note? Please stand up and come forward." No one stood up. The hall was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Everyone's heart was racing, wondering what Khrushchev would do next. The person who wrote the note was especially anxious and regretful, knowing Khrushchev could trace it back to them. Khrushchev repeated his request, but still no one came forward. After a few minutes, he spoke again, calmly saying, "All right, I will answer your question. I was sitting exactly where you are sitting now." Khrushchev used his current power to recreate the situation he faced back then, making the audience feel his choices and explaining his helplessness from a different perspective. In essence, psychological contrarian thinking embodies the spirit of anticipating the enemy and seizing the initiative. The strategy of enemy doesn't move, I don't move, enemy moves, I move, demonstrates grandeur and caution. It involves setting oneself in a defensive position before attacking, but always depending on the opponent's actions, often losing the initiative. Psychological contrarian thinking is based on predicting and reacting to the opponent's mindset, laying out a plan that catches them off guard, allowing you to counteract freely and even turn the tables. As we've explored the power of reverse thinking through historical examples and real-life stories, let's delve deeper into its significance in our daily lives and how it can be a game changer in various situations. In the realm of problem solving, reverse thinking often leads to innovative solutions. It encourages us to look at problems from a different angle. For instance, in business, instead of asking why a product is failing, ask what would make it irresistibly successful. This shift in perspective can lead to a complete overhaul in product design or marketing strategy, turning potential failure into a remarkable success. In personal relationships, reverse thinking can help us understand others better. When conflicts arise, instead of asking why someone is reacting negatively, consider what their actions might be saying about their needs or feelings. This approach can open doors to empathy and effective communication, strengthening relationships. Furthermore, in self-improvement, reverse thinking challenges us to break out of our comfort zones. Instead of asking how we can avoid failure, we should ask what we would do if we weren't afraid of failing. This mindset can lead to personal growth, pushing us to take risks and try new things, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling life. Let's also consider the role of reverse thinking in creativity and innovation. Many groundbreaking inventions were the result of thinking contrary to the norm. For example, the creation of Post-it notes was a result of a failed attempt to create a super strong adhesive. Instead of discarding the weak adhesive, the inventors found a unique use for it, leading to an incredibly popular product. Moreover, reverse thinking can also be a powerful tool in social change. By challenging existing norms and asking what if the opposite were true, it can lead to progressive thinking and significant societal improvements. This approach has been crucial in movements for gender equality, environmental protection, and more. In conclusion, the power of reverse thinking lies in its ability to open our minds to new possibilities and perspectives. It teaches us that sometimes the best way forward is to think backward, challenging our conventional wisdom and assumptions. As we continue to navigate the complexities of our world, embracing reverse thinking can lead us to discover innovative solutions and new ways of seeing our lives and the world around us. Remember to keep an open mind, challenge the status quo, and think in reverse. That's all for today's sharing. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments. We'll see you in the next video.